In this video, I'm gonna walk you through how you can optimize your Facebook ad account in the most effective way possible so you can increase your ROI, you can increase your profit, and you can scale without lowering your ROI. So let's dive in. The first thing that I always do when I open an ad account is I filter through the active campaigns so I can see only the ones that are currently running. Then I open the last 7 days and filter by ad spend. When you're optimizing your account, always start with the campaigns that are spending the most of the budget. So let's take a look at this one. This one is where I'm testing new creatives or new audiences. So always, when you are testing new creatives, always test them on your best converting audience. And when you are testing audiences, just use your best performing creatives. I know it's a little bit straightforward, but many people don't do it. So let's take a look now. Our cost per purchase target in this account is about 40 euros. So what I will do right now is I will start with the ad sets that are above 40. And I'm gonna take a look and see overall what is the trend in the account. I can see that most of my ad sets are hitting the target. So what I will do first is I will filter by the ad sets that are currently spending. And then I will start with the ones that are having the highest CPA. So I'm gonna take them like this, and then I'm gonna filter so I can just isolate these 3 ad sets. And then what I would do is I'm gonna pull the last 3 days so I can see how they're trending. And basically 2 of my ad sets are having bad results for the last 7 days, bad results for the last 3 days. And even if I look at yesterday, for example, they didn't get any sales. And basically the idea is to analyze the performance for yesterday, last 3 days, last 7 days, and if the ad set is consistently out of KPI, the same is with creatives, you can just take it down because it's just lowering your ROI and not delivering what you need, which is basically hitting your KPIs. So basically, let me just double check this. Last 3 days, 0 orders, 100 euros in spend, 1 order with 87. So I'm just gonna take them down, and then I will go through the rest of the account. I'm just gonna pick the campaign again, just to make sure I'm in the right place. I'm gonna filter. I see that for the last 7 days, again, what is going on in the account. And what you can do with the winning ones, the ones that are having very high ROI, and you should not touch that budget. Honestly, I don't believe in increasing and decreasing and doing that type of strategy when optimizing. Because if we take a look at this one, it's having amazing results, almost 6 ROI. And if I touch the budget, I'm risking of fucking it up in a way because my performance can decline. In 9 of 10 cases, it will decline. It's not going to stay the same. So if I want to scale that, what I can do is I can duplicate it. I can duplicate with the same audience. I can duplicate with another audience. I can put that specific creative in Advantage Plus. So you need to have a clear structure and know exactly how you're running the account. But what I like to do is if something performs very well on 30 bucks or 50 bucks, I'm gonna leave it there. And I'm gonna try scaling it by using other techniques, but not touching the budgets. And then what I would do is I'm gonna take a look in my testing campaign, what exactly is happening with the rest of the portfolio, meaning creatives that I shut down, and then maybe later on, Facebook attributed orders to these specific ad sets. And I can see there are examples like that, like this one and this one, which are having decent results. So I can definitely pick these back on and get them to the account. So this is something that you need to proactively do, especially if you're selling a little bit more expensive products. Keep in mind that Facebook needs time to attribute orders, and not everyone is buying at the first click at the same day. So keep that in mind. And then what I will do is I'm gonna open the second campaign and I'm gonna repeat the exact same thing. I'm gonna take a look exactly what is going on. I'm gonna identify, okay, here I have, for example, cost caps. I have a separated campaign for cost caps. The idea here is for me to give targets to Facebook and see if the platform can follow these targets. And when I see an ad set to overspend on a bad CPA, what I will do is the same thing. I'm gonna open last 3 days. I'm gonna see how much it's spending. For example, you can see 2 of them already improved. The reason why is because I did lower my bid specifically. So if I open the history, my bid went from 33 euros to 31. And I see that the results are already getting better. But this one is on 35. It's still spending, but not getting me orders. So in this case, I'm just gonna lower my bid. The same thing with this one. So that way I can prevent my spend to go up on creatives that are not hitting my target. And the next thing that I do with my cost caps is I'm gonna filter them by ROI, and I can see specific ones like this one that is having 5 ROI. And in this case, I can increase my bid. But I'm not going to increase it with 20%, 50% or something crazy. Maybe I bump it with 1 euros, 2 euros and just keep it consistent, because if it's already delivering results, then I shouldn't make big adjustments. And then I'm gonna take a look into all of the creatives that are spending. Here I'm using one ad set and one creative into each of these. And I can see here I have a big ad spend, 160 with 0 orders, so I'm gonna drop my bid. And you can see I have many that are running. But if you see the lifetime of the campaign on these cost caps, for example, I spent 20,000 and basically the ROI is 2.2, 42 euros CPA, which is acceptable for this account, and it makes a lot of sense. The next thing that you can try on doing, which I do regularly, is basically I restart some of my best performing ads from the past 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 1 year, and I give them another shot to see if they're gonna perform. This is a strategy that not many people are using, and they're trying to just create new ads in the account. But let's say that you have an ad that is doing very well, but at some point it dies, the performance gets down. And what you need to do is maybe a few months later, you can definitely restart it and give it a new shot. This works very well in most of the accounts that we run. Sometimes we even run creatives that are 1 year or 2 years old. It can also work. And then what you can do, and what I usually do, is basically I can launch a new campaign, which is using campaign budget optimization. And then inside I'm gonna have only one ad set, like here, where I'm using the Advantage Plus, only one ad set, broad targeting, and inside I can put off my best performing creatives. And then I'm gonna monitor every day and see what is the trend on these creatives. And basically you can see here, I have a creative that spent 90 euros, no sales, taking it down. This one spent 40, I took it down, simply because I have a creative with 32 euros cost per purchase, which is much, much better. And that's the exercise you have to repeat. Media buying is not about just leaving Facebook to do his best work. Of course, the platform now is more sophisticated and making a lot of good decisions, but you have to just jump in, you have to navigate, you have to make tweaks here and there and make appropriate changes. So if you take a look at this campaign, for example, Facebook spent 600 of my budget to this specific creative, but the cost per purchase is 60 euro. This is way too much for the account. So I took it down, and now the budget is being split between these 3 creatives, and one of them is already delivering better result. So you still have to navigate. You can't just leave the platform to do whatever it wants. That's not the best way to go about it. And if you take a look at these 3 campaigns specifically, these are old campaigns which were launched last year, basically. And these campaigns have a lot of data inside. You can see the spending on them, and you can see that all of them had good results. So what I have decided to do is to restart them and then see what is going on with each one. See if I can get these campaigns to be back alive. And already the first creative spent 100, no sales, I took it down. Then the second one is already getting a sale, so I'm gonna leave it for a little bit and then decide if this can be reactivated and perform well, or this will be deactivated simply because it's no longer working. The same is with this one. So that's the way to go about it. I'm gonna quickly go through a smaller account in which I have only 3 campaigns, and basically inside I have the same. I have one testing campaign, one scaling, and one for remarketing, keeping it extremely simple. And then basically in my scaling campaign here, I'm using all of my best performing ads from testing. I put them here and then I optimize. And I see this one, the second one. I spent almost 1,000 euros. The CPA is very high, 71 euros. when I'm already having much better options. So I would definitely take it down, as you can see, in order to prioritize my other options, which are delivering better results. And if I take a look at the last 3 days, my CPA here is acceptable. If I want to maximize performance, I can, yes, deactivate the first one, but the first one is way more consistent because it already got 30 orders and I'm fine with the CPA that I'm getting. So I can leave it, but if I see this CPA to go above 50 euros, 60 euros or something like that, what I would do is I would deactivate it and focus my spending on this one. And if my second creative starts to underperform, what I can do is just look at the historical data and pick my highest ROI creatives, which currently is this one, but I can change it to something from the past which wasn't running for a while. That can be something I would do. Or I will pick my best performing creative right now from testing. And I'm also going to duplicate it into this scaling campaign. And I know it might sound a little bit more difficult, but this is like investing in a way. You have to just make investments with different audiences, with different creatives. Then you have to see what works and what doesn't. Whatever is not working, you have to take it down quickly, and then you have to focus on the winners. And this is something you do all the time. And if you see the history in the account, I launched new ad sets basically today, 22nd of July, 21st, 16, 14, 9 of July, and so on. And you can see that many of them are already down. The reason why they are deactivated is simply because they are not performing to a level that is acceptable for the account. But if you want to scale, you need to have new creatives coming in, and you need to be squeezing the maximum out of your existing creatives. That is the only way in order to scale on Facebook right now. And again, what I will do is filter by cost per purchase. I already see some ad sets which are below, above my target, like 50 and more is too much for the account. So what I will do here is I'm gonna put the filter. I see that the first 3 ones are started on 24th of July. So yeah, I can give them a little bit of room to see if they're gonna improve. But if I take a look into the second row of 4, I see that they're underperforming. Like especially the first and the second, the CPA is way too high. So I'm gonna definitely just take them down. It doesn't make sense for me to continue spending, even while the click-through rate is very high. But click-through rate doesn't bring revenue. Always optimize towards your real goal. If your goal is purchase and CPA, then this is what you need to do. And the same thing is with remarketing. So when you're running remarketing, what most people do is just run heavy discounts. I don't think you need to run discounts all the time. What you need to do is take your best performing creatives from top of the funnel, then you drop them in your remarketing. And in remarketing, what I like to do is just bundle together like page view, add to cart, view content, checkout, and so on. And here, what I'm able to see right now, last 7 days, let's take a look at what is happening with this creative. 53 euros cost per purchase. Let's look at last 3 days, almost 85 of ad spend. No sales, I'm just gonna take it down. And the reason why I'm gonna take it down is simply because I have other option here, which got only 1 sale, but the reason is because of the low ad spend. And you can see it's the highest ROI creative. So I'm gonna spend most of my budget on this one. And I'm gonna deactivate even this one with 78 euros, simply because it's not getting me sales. And this is the next ad set. This is all based on engagement. And here I have the same. I have 2 ad sets, like 2 ads in this case, that are deactivated simply because they have low ROI. And I'm replacing them with the ones that are already performing better. And this is what you need to do every single day, especially if you're spending thousands of dollars on Facebook like I do. Like I go through all of my accounts, even the ones that are having low ad spend, and I analyze what happened today, yesterday, last 3 days, last 7 days, in order for me to find what is working, what I can scale, but more importantly, what is out of KPI that I can take down, because I don't want to keep spending if I'm not hitting my KPIs. And this is the routine that works best. This is the routine that I know many 8-figure brands to be using. And this is the most effective way to optimize. You can be optimizing your campaigns once a week or once every 2 weeks and expect to get the most out of the platform. It's just not going to happen. What you need to do is you need to do it daily and you'll get the most out of it.